actually going to drive the car out, so I'm going to load it up, and then we'll go for a cruise to the track. So, we'll see you out there. So yesterday I went to the OSO no prep and the test and tune. It was a little bit different. It was a bit of an adventure, I guess you could say. I didn't get a chance to video a lot of it because I was too busy trying to fix the car and forgot to record any of it. So it started out to be a bit of a headache. I picked the car up, I loaded all my stuff that I needed into it. I drove it to TMP and it ran fine until I went to go make my first pass. I pulled into the burnout box and I went to do my burnout and the motor started popping and banging like it had a miss. So I backed it off the track and went back to go change the plugs. I found a spark plug wire sitting on the header. So I changed that out and I went up for another pass, and of course that didn't fix my problem. It seemed to be every time that the car was under load, it would start to pop and bang and it just didn't run right. So long story short, we spent a couple hours chasing the issues. So I changed the crank sensors. I also noticed that the distributor cap didn't look too good, so because I didn't have one on me, I cleaned it up the best I could, took it for another drive, and of course it didn't work for me. But in the end I ended up finding another cap. I took it for a drive after that, seemed to work. So I went up, made a pass on motor. It was decent, but it was still down on power. But it was decent, so I guess I can't complain for after all the issues I had. After that, I let the car cool down a bit, and I noticed that we were running out of time because I made my first pass probably about 2:30. They shut down about 4 o'clock, but I still wanted to do a nitrous pass because I want to go to PYOP in a couple weeks, and I've got to be ready for that. So I went up and did a pass, and sure enough, it didn't like the tune-up I had in it. So I went back. I got told that my transmission was leaking, so I had to let it cool down. I fixed the issue. I put another tune-up in the meantime and made another pass, and I made it just in time for the track to close the lanes. But of course, the car made a phenomenal pass, and I mean, it really started to come around there, so that's when we ended up getting into the no prep. So now we're at Saturday night for the OSO no prep. I decided to enter the NA class because I didn't bring my DOT tires. So it was either that or small tire, and I didn't think I had enough for small tires, so NA class it was. So it ended up being a low car count with only 4 cars. So after my test pass, I had to rush around. I had to change the radials to the slicks. I had to disconnect the lines. I had to pull the bottle out. So then we ended up going for the driver's meeting. I had to draw for first round. I ended up drawing Stan with his first gen Camaro. I ended up racing him before. He ended up beating me, so I knew I had my hands full. So while we were waiting in the lanes to go down for round 1, unfortunately there was a car that had a bit of an oil spill. And they ended up moving the starting line forward probably about, I want to say 60 or 80 feet. But I'll tell you, it was a true no prep, and it was slippery. So anyways, me and Stan ended up going down for round 1, and I ended up pulling the win off. It was a close race, but I ended up pulling the win off. So that put me into the finals. I ended up drawing Braden with his stick shift Mustang. I ended up taking the hit on him, and he ended up driving around me at the end. It was a close race. He's fast, he could drive, and there's no complaints. I mean, it was a good race. After the round was done, I ended up hooking back up the bottle. I hooked up the lines, and I wanted to do some testing because there's a race that I'm going to in a couple weeks. So at the end of the night, I ended up driving the car home in one piece. So, I mean, it was a good night. I'm pretty happy with how it ran. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll see more content.